Hello and good morning, guys. I'm going to do a get ready with me video for a basic day at work, pretty much. This was requested by a few people, and so I thought I would do it. I had my next video in mind, but the things that I need for it are a little delayed getting here, so that's gonna come probably my first video in the new year. So it is about it's exactly 8 o'clock right now. I typically wake up around 7:30, maybe a little earlier or a little later, depending, and I try to leave for work by 9, so I like to give myself a full hour and a half. I know that's a little weird to some people maybe, but I have this morning routine where I need to basically sit and eat breakfast before I leave, but also I do it where I don't look at my phone or anything really, and I just sit here in silence or with some music, and it's really peaceful and nice, and it's a good like way to get in your self-care for the day and just have some like nice quiet time that's like tech-free. And I sit here at my table and do my makeup. So yeah, I'm gonna do that right now, and I have some coffee here. I wanted to apologize if the lighting is a little weird. I don't have a ring light or anything yet. I'm definitely going to invest in one soon, but for now I just have literally lamps and natural light. So I think the lighting is gonna be a little strange, but I hope it'll be fine. I already curled my hair. I am going to just put my hair back in a little clip just to get it out of the way. My skincare routine is already done, and so the first thing I do is prime my face. I use Laura Mercier's oil-free primer. And then next, I put a little concealer under my eyes to brighten, and I'm obviously using Tarte Shape Tape, which is the most famous thing ever, I think. And if anyone's wondering, I use light neutral, only for under my eyes though. This is too light for, I think, the main parts of my face. And then I have a damp beauty blender here, and I like to spray it with some of the Tatcha Luminous Dewy Skin Mist. My skin's been unusually dry this winter, so I'm trying to give it as much moisture and glow as possible. All right, and then next I am concealing in a few places with the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. This is the best in the game. It's been my favorite for a long time, and I use it in custard. So I don't have too many spots really. That was the only thing I was concerned about. I don't really like to put it in areas that it doesn't really need to be, because I try to wear as little face makeup as possible. When I have darker spots like what was under here, you can kind of still see it. I definitely like to go back in later too. So that's pretty much the beginning of my face routine. And then I go in with the, I don't wear foundation, I just wear powder. So this is IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Plus Airbrush Perfecting Powder, and it has SPF 50 in it, which is great. I also do wear SPF on a daily basis too, under everything. So I use this MAC Duo Fiber brush that I've literally had forever. I don't like to use a kabuki or anything more dense than this. I really like as sheer of a face look as possible, and I don't like the feeling of heavy face makeup on my face. Now I'm going to go and do my brows. I kind of change what my brow look is on a day-to-day basis based on the rest of my makeup look. These are my natural eyebrows. They're pretty thick and they're pretty full, but there are some sparse areas, and I do just like to shape them up a little bit. I have not gotten them done. I get them threaded. I haven't gotten them done probably since like June or early summer. So this is what we're working with right now. I do tweeze and keep up with them. I'm just using the Anastasia Brow Definer. This is in ebony, and I got this from work because they send us PR, and I just picked it out of a thing, and it was like one of the last ones left. I don't like to use this too much since it's not the color I really want it to be. It's like a little darker and more cool tone than I like. Okay, so those are done. Sometimes I will use, or a lot of the time I will use the Glossier Boy Brow too, and then that you use brown, which is crazy because one of my best friends is blonde and also uses brown, and it looks completely different on both of us. But if I'm going for, if I'm filling in basically with the pencil, sorry, I'm like losing my voice, I like to use just the clear one because I think they get too dark and it's too much. Next I do my eyes, and I'm using the Urban Decay Primer Potion. I use this no matter really if I'm wearing eyeshadow or not. My lids can get very oily, and I just think it keeps things under control basically. Okay, and then I am doing my makeup similar to how it was in my last video. So I'm gonna try to recreate the same look. This is something that I've been doing a lot recently, so thank you for requesting. So I have this like mini version of the Too Faced chocolate palette that I got as like the 500 point reward thing from the Sephora VIB. I like to mix chocolate Soleil and salted caramel in here, which this is a bronzer, but I like to use it as a highlight or as a shadow. I just like to kind of buff it up. And then I go in with this brush, which I really like. I've been using this brush a lot lately. It's this cute little like dome brush. So then I go in with Semi-Sweet, which is the darker brown. And I like that these are all mattes too. I'm not really a shimmery person. The only place I use shimmer is like in my, it's like the inner corner. So I will go in with that and just kind of put that towards my entire lash line, going up a little bit because of my eye shape. I have basically monolids, but I do have a crease of some sort. I think the most flattering way to wear eyeshadow for monolids and that eye shape is to go darker, lighter out instead of going light to dark, as you would if you had a double lid. I think it just makes the eyes look really pretty and opens them up, so yeah. And then I'll go back in one more time with this color. So that's really it for the eyeshadow part on the top. And then on the bottom, so I will take those same two colors and put it on my bottom lash line with this MAC pencil brush. And I like to do it a little messy. It doesn't have to be perfect, just to give it more of like a smoky-ish look. But then I'll go in with this cute little flat brush, which is one of my favorite brushes of all time. This is a Morphe M508. And then I just have this black color, and I will put this down here. This is where I'll go closer to my lash line and more concentrated. And then I am gonna switch things up a little bit from my makeup look in my last video, because today I am wearing liquid liner, and I did not last time. It's one of my best friend's birthdays today. Happy birthday, Celia. And so we're going to dinner, and so I'm just gonna do a little bit more. So I'm just using the Kat Von D Tattoo liquid liner. So I just line the tops first, and then I go in and do the wing after so that I can make them even. Try to make them even, never works. So there's one. It's close enough. I don't really care at the end of the day. All right, so I have an eyelash perm, so I like to do my bottom lashes first, let them dry, do some of my face makeup, and then come back to them, because if I'm like putting my head down to do it, they'll just like get all over the place. So they are like curled permanently. I don't use anything to curl them. So I do the bottom first. I'm using Benefit Roller Lash. Okay, and then I will move on to my face using Benefit Hoola with a contour brush, like an angled one. And then for me, my nose shape, I don't really have like a really defined bridge, so I do just sometimes go in and give it like a little bit of contour. And that's it. And then I will go in with a blush. In my last video, I used this blush. I love, love, love the ColourPop blushes. They are the Super Shock Cheek, and they come in highlighters as well. They are like a creamy consistency. It's a weird texture. It's like a creamy velvety consistency. And then they kind of just turn into powder. But I think that they last a really long time, which is why I really like them. One thing to note about these though is that I would start lighter than you think and then go heavier if you need. They're very pigmented. Blush is one of my favorite things in makeup, period. I think if I had to be stranded on a desert island with a few makeup products, or only use like 3 makeup products in a look, blush would definitely be one of them. And I don't think a lot of people would say that. And I think it just like makes you look more like awake and rosy and warm. So that shade is called Between the Sheets. Yes. So I'm gonna go in the inner corners of my eyes and do a little bit of this. This is the Super Shock Cheek from ColourPop in the color Smoke and Whistles. It is beautiful. This is one of my favorite, I think, makeup products that I own, and it was like $4. I don't like to go in the actual inner corner for my eye shape, so I like to go in the inner corner, but only on the bottom, if that makes sense. And I just think it gives the eyes like a nice little glowy look. And then I'm gonna go in on my cheekbones and everything with also one of my favorite makeup products. Ironic that they're both highlighters. This is the RMS Living Luminizer, and it is a cream highlighter. It's this like white luminescent color, and I just use it with my finger and I go in on my cheekbones. And I think this is just like the best, most beautiful, natural looking glow without being like crazy or too blinding or too fake looking. I just think it gives it a really nice sheen, and I really, really, really love to use it on the center of my nose and just give it a little natural, light, reflective look. This is really like the secret in my like dewy makeup look lately. And finally, I will go in and do my top lashes. And I really, really love the Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir. But the only problem with it is that like so much product comes out on the brush, so you really have to like scrape it off, at least like while it's a newer tube, or else it just comes out like clumpy AF. With the lash perm, I have to do them in a specific way too. So I put the mirror like really tilted and I like go down and do it. So the lashes are done. Here's what they look like. And now I'm gonna do my lip. One of my favorite lips of all time. This is Shroom by Lime Crime, and it is this like 90s brown color. It's really cool. I'm not positive that this would flatter everyone's skin tone. It's like a strange color, and it's like got very interesting undertones. I have really moved away from liquid lipsticks too recently, A, just because they are drying, but B, because I don't really love that like super defined look anymore. I like the more like diffused look, but I really, really love this color. So the lip is finished, and this is the look. Now I'm gonna get ready for work. Let's do that. Bye.
Say nothing without it. Don't let them keep you down.